Hello, welcome back to my channel, being Louisa. So this video is just going to be about my last experience on the labour and birth ward. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see, well, I think you'll know, yeah, I posted a picture of a CCG, I think it was. You'll know, like, I went back up to the labour and birth ward for about 2 shifts and they were really fun shifts. So it all came about because I was down 2 shifts on the postnatal ward because the scheduling got messed up, plus I was ill one day, so they just sent me home anyway, and my mentor wasn't in, so you know, they just sent me home. And then the other day my mentor was like, just don't come in because I'm not actually in that day. So I was like, okay, cool. But then that meant I was down like 23 hours, so I had to go do another shift, which I did not mind at all. So I went to my CPF and I was like, oh, she's really doing my summative, so could I go back to labour and birth since I only have 3 catches? And she was like, yep, that's cool. And I was like, yes, girl, yes. So I went back to labour and birth, and it's funny because I was really calm about my 3 catches. I'd like gotten so used to it, and I became okay about my 3 catches because of you guys and some of the 3rd, 2nd years, even some midwives. They were like, don't worry about it. I had this many when I was in 1st year, but obviously they're qualified, so they got their 40. So it was really nice to like have that kind of they comforted me basically. Yeah, so they comforted me, and like you guys comforted me. I'm just like being like, don't worry about it, and it was really cool. But yeah, so I was like really calm about it. Then I went to labour and birth and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a catch though, and that'd be fun. My 1st shift, no catch, but the lady was so lovely. We got along so well. We built this connection, and I think that's what's been my favourite part, is building connections. Because at the beginning of this course I was so awkward, I was so shy, I could feel my nervous energy radiate off of me, so obviously women must have felt it as well. And I've changed so much since then, and I love that, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so thankful. You do not understand. I've grown a lot in myself, and I've seen the difference, and other people have seen the difference, and that's all that really matters. I feel like if I feel it and I feel confident now, that's amazing. Like, that's all that matters. And then my next shift I had on the labour and birth ward, it was a crazy shift. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was super crazy. We had this one lady all day, this couple, they were so lovely, the sweetest people. She kept saying it's a precious baby, it's a wanted baby, it's a loved baby, because it was an IVF baby, and they had lost their previous IVF pregnancy, and so this baby was a rainbow baby. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because I follow Phil and Alex, and I follow Ayla and Caleb, and I follow Rochelle and Justin, so I'm like super invested and committed. Plus I'm such an empathetic person so I'm super invested and committed in these YouTubers, and like I understand the struggle. Like, obviously I don't understand it from a personal experience, but because I'm so empathetic and everything, I understand it from like their experiences. And there was one point where my mentor had gone out of the room and she was talking to me, and she was like, oh, I don't want a C-section, but if it's best for the baby, I'll have a C-section. I looked at her and I was like, you're not having a C-section. If you do, it's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be fine. Like, they're gonna look after you, there's gonna be a pediatrician, that baby's gonna be fine, and then you're gonna have a skin baby. But it's not gonna happen. Just get that thought out of your brain, just get that negative energy out of the room. It's not gonna happen. I was just so certain about this, and I don't know why. I was like, it's just not gonna happen, not on my watch. So yeah, she had a really long 1st stage labour, like latent phase labour. She had such a long one. It was a couple of days, and it wasn't like, oh, she just wasn't, like, she was legit in labour. Like, baby was moving, baby was down at spines for like a day or something. Like, baby was like ready to come out, but her cervix was doing the first part of its job so great that it forgot that it actually has to transition to another job of like she letting baby out. And like literally the cervix was like, no, this baby's staying in. And my mentor was like, actually cervix. And like she went and like massaged it, and it started to open up, and it was awesome. But it was slow progress, which was fine. But baby started to get a bit distressed that time, but it was blimming squashed in the birth canal for a couple of days. Of course it's going to get a bit distressed, but because of that the doctor started to get involved, and at one point they were like, oh, we might have to do a C-section because you're not quite there yet, and baby seems to be getting distressed. But whenever she moved, baby did not like him, and it was just like, oh no. I had said earlier in the day she's not gonna have a C-section, and now the doctor says she's gonna have a C-section, and I was like, no. Even my mentor was kind of upset because we had like high hopes for this woman. I don't know why, we just both was just like, this is gonna do this. So yeah, so we were upset, and like, whilst we were like commiserating at the midwife's desk, some lady got transferred onto our ward from the antenatal ward, and she had some urges to push, and because her previous birth had been really fast, they had transferred her over. So like, she comes on, the midwife started transferring her over, put her in the room, and then all of a sudden she pokes her head back out going, she is now involuntarily pushing and there is nothing in this room. So I offered to go and get the room ready for them, like grab stuff for her, because we had 2 hours until vaginal examination on our lady. So I was like, yeah, I can can help out. Like, so I went and grabbed stuff for her, and I was going to leave, but then the midwife that transferred her left, and then another midwife came in who actually happened to be one of my mentors from a different ward, and she came in to look after her, but she was leaving soon as well. So then another midwife came in who actually happened to be my other mentor. So like they kind of switched around, and because I'd been the only constant and one of my other mentors knew I only had 3 catchers, she was like, do you want to stay, like have fun? I was like, yeah, sure. So I like the fact that I grew this relationship with her. And it's funny because it wasn't until after she gave birth that I realized that the woman spoke English really well, because her mum spoke very little English, and this woman, she was speaking in her language obviously to her mum. When you're giving birth and you're that far into it, you're in your own world. So I was just like, I don't even know if you speak English or not, but she understood like what I was saying, because I was like, okay, cool. So I got her water when she needed it, and this was just like the craziest thing ever. Like this, oh my gosh, when her waters broke, it was like full on squirted across the room. Me and my mentor jumped back, and it just missed my other mentor literally, because she was walking this way, right, and she had just gotten past the woman's leg here, and her waters broke like that, and it just missed the back of her. I've never seen waters break like that. And then baby was born not that long after, and it was really nice because I was the only constant in like this 25-minute ordeal. She was looking at me and she was really listening to me and doing what I was saying, and I loved that so much. But this baby literally, I mean, this baby, like, I didn't have time to put on my gloves to catch the baby. My mentor didn't have time to put on gloves to catch the baby. This baby just came out, okay? This baby was boom. Like, my mentor had one glove on. I just put on the other glove on. The baby just popped right out. This lady's placenta did not want to come out for any of us. Not me, not my mentor, not the midwife in charge, but only for the doctor. So that catch didn't count for me. But yeah, so during this whole experience, I had this other feeling, like this really faith-filled God feeling. I like went into this whole prayer mode really randomly in this room where this woman had just given birth. And I was like, Lord, I just witnessed one of your miracles. I know you can do this. And I know you're going to do this for insert woman's name. And I don't know why, I just prayed along those lines, and literally I came out of the room after an hour with this lady. I come out and I'm just there for a bit, time to go into that room. So I went back into my other room with our original lady, my mentor of that day was in there, and I was like, oh, is it time for the VE yet? She was like, yeah, in about 10-20 minutes. So when it was time, I was standing next to the husband, because me and the husband had like gotten really close. So I was standing next to the husband, and it was like, we got this. I felt this calm, and I looked at him and I was like, she's got this, she's got it. And my mentor did the VE, and she was taking really long, and I was like, oh no. And when she came out, she was like, she's fully, and I was like, no way. I was like, no way. And the husband was like, what? Literally the husband was so shocked, and like the wife was shocked as well. And he looks at his wife, and that look of awe, that look of love, that look of wow, your body just did that. He looked at her and was like, baby, you did it, you're amazing. Like, I was just like, they went from having like a really long early labor to then being told you're probably gonna have a C-section by the doctors, to us going, actually, you're gonna push this baby out. And that was a lot for them. Obviously it's over like a 12-hour shift, because it was near to the end of our shift that this happened, but it was a lot for them. And then we came back and we got down to business, and she pushed that baby out within like 15-20 minutes or something like that. And baby was so cute, gave baby to mum, I got the towels. It was just a magical time, and they were praying over baby, they were laying scriptures over baby. It's just like this is what I was saying to you when you was implanted in me, and I was just like, cute time. Oh, it was just a lovely experience. I got really close to them, so close that I went in the next day on my day off. I went to the postnatal ward and I visited them, and I was so glad I just caught them. They were leaving like that day, and I got to visit them, and she was like, I was so out of it, didn't remember your name, I know it starts with an L. And I was like, that's okay. And she was like, thank you so much. I've been telling all my friends how my student midwife was amazing, how comforted she was, how much you was there for me. And I was like, I just thought it was so sweet. It was so lovely. I was okay not catching any babies because of those experiences, but then after going to see her, I was like, this is what it's all about. It's about that continuity. It's about seeing them and supporting them, and it's about loving on them, and I'm just so happy I got to do that. So yeah, that was my last experience on those wards, and I think my big take back is just be there for your women. Be there for your women, love on them, support them as much as you can. Be that person that is their constant, and that person that can tell them exactly what's happening, or tell their partner exactly what's happening. You be that person, because you are a student, and that's the best way we can help, really. So yeah, that's my little tidbit of experience and information, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry, by the way, I'm so sorry I spoke so fast and my alarms kept on going off, but I actually need to go to work. I just wanted to film this because it's really great lighting right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and in the meantime, keep on being you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below with any questions or suggestions, and don't forget to subscribe to get weekly updates. Bye y'all!